As part of the main quest, we will need to craft a jet gun. So at the start of the game, we want to head to the second floor of the motel where a bunch of zombies will break open a door and come running out at us. In this room is the workbench to craft the jet gun. While we don't have the parts yet, we will be coming back here a little later. It's just a good idea to clear out this room early. To actually start the Easter egg quest, head to the church and hold the interact button on the machine against the right side wall to start some dialogue with Panos. After his dialogue ends, interact with the machine again to officially start the quest. Panos will continue talking, but we can just move on to the next steps. Head to Washington Ave and grab the water valve in front of Lily's flower pot. Then head to the bowling alley and break open this panel with a melee attack, which one of my friends already did for me. We can use the water valve here and need to hold it to build up water pressure. Zombies will spawn infinitely, so we will need to train them around and pick our opportunities to hold the valve when the coast is clear. As a heads up, whenever we aren't holding the valve, progress will slowly be lost. But once we build up enough pressure, the water pressure gauge will fall onto the ground, so make sure to grab it. Our next part requires us to find the groundskeeper who randomly spawns in and roams the graveyard. Defeating him will drop a tool shed key that we can use to unlock the tool shed and grab the handle brake. Just follow the path I take if you're unsure where the tool shed is.
Seems his luck didn't stick around in the end though. Wonder what the key's for. Alright, Riffle. Let's see what you've been keeping locked up in here. A handbrake.
For the last part for the jet gun, we need a mangler cannon, which can be crafted for 1,250 salvage as long as we are at least player level 20, or it can be shot off of a mangler by killing it with a shot to its cannon. We want to head over to the Radio House store and blast open the door with the mangler cannon, then interact with the dirt piles on the ground until we find the electrical wire.
Jackpot. That's the wiring for the jet.
With all three parts, head back to the motel and craft the jet gun in the motel room we opened up at the start of the match.
Like you already found some of the parts. Lustidyne Model 23, huh?
Now we need to use the jet gun to collect 3 parts to craft the LTG. Our first part is found in the ceiling of Ollie's comics. Just use the gun's primary fire to suck it up. Our second part is found along Washington Ave. Climb up to the roofs and jump across to the white box truck. From there we can reach the next part that we will suck up from the window.
We know all about the word canister.
The final part is found in the church right next to Panos, so again use the jet gun to suck it up.
That's enough parts for
With these 3 parts we can craft the LTG by heading to the roof of the bank using the zip lines and interacting with the crafting table here.
Who are you talking to?
The LTG is used on the storm clouds around the map. We'll tackle the one in the graveyard first. We'll need to defend it from zombies for 1 full minute. If it does get destroyed, we will need to finish another round before being able to start the sequence again. But once we protect it successfully, a mini-boss enemy will spawn. At this point, we need to lead the mini-boss to one of the dark Aether traps, making sure not to kill it prematurely. Return to the church to grab a canister from the machine. While carrying the canister, we won't be able to run. Drop the canister near the trap, then lower the mini-boss's health until it begins to glow purple and Panos tells you it has been weakened. Now kill the mini-boss by activating the trap near our dropped canister so that its essence goes into the canister. We'll need to pick up the canister and race against the clock to bring it back to the machine. Again, we won't be able to run, but the timer is more than generous. After returning the canister, Panos will speak again and we can grab a Strauss counter from the machine. This is equipped with LB and is used to calibrate 3 machines dotted around the map. The first one is found just outside the church on the grass, and we need to match the color of the Strauss counter with the color of the light on the machine. Your specific colors will not be the same as mine, but my first one here is yellow. As we head to the second machine, I want to mention that sometimes the colors will be kind of mixed up. So as we get to the second machine near the tool shed, we'll see that my counter is green, but the machine actually has to be red.
In cooperation with Project Janet authorities. Due to extraordinary circumstances, a mandatory stay-home order is now in effect.
Our final machine is found on the roof of the bank, but it is behind some debris that we will need to buy to get rid of. Again, one of my friends already took care of that for me. On my final machine, even though the counter is red, remember that the color got mixed with the second machine, so this one actually needs to be green to activate it. If you're having trouble with yours, try mixing the colors across the machines until they turn on. With those all set, go back to the graveyard and grab the LTG, then bring it to the next storm cloud near Ollie's comic, and do the same process of defending it to spawn a mini-boss again. Once again, keep the mini-boss alive and lead it to the Aether trap, then grab the canister from the machine near the spawn. This machine opened up from us calibrating those 3 other machines with the Strauss counter. Place the canister down near the trap, lower the mini-boss's health until it glows purple, and finish it off with the trap. And once more, we will need to pick up the canister and race against the clock back to the machine in the church. With both canisters returned to the machine, we can start the final step, but I highly recommend you and your team get kitted out with strong weapons, perks, and definitely craft some mutant injectors if you can. When you feel ready, interact with the machine in the church to start the final step. You and your team will be locked in the church and have to survive 3 waves of zombies. Each wave will include increasingly stronger mini-bosses. The first wave only throws a couple manglers at us, but the second and third waves throw the named mini-bosses we fought earlier back into the mix. We need to survive all 3 waves, and we'll know that we have done it when our whole team gets downed, our achievement pops, and the cutscene plays.
Enemy! Please!
Lady over here!
Alpha team, how copy? Somebody tell me what just happened. Any station this net, what is your status? And if you've hurt them, I swear I'll...
No interruptions for this next part.
Thank you, my friends, for volunteering to take my place here. Or, in your parlance, thank you for being voluntold. Now, if you will excuse me, I have a few scores to settle. Bye-bye, Dark Aether.
After the cutscene, I highly recommend to continue the game, as we will be rewarded with legendary weapons, ammo mods, upgrade materials, and of course all the perks, putting us in a perfect place to try to survive even more rounds.